So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you some of the things I've learned living in this country for the past 4 years. It's going to 4 years, okay? In a few months, it's going to be 4 years. So I'm going to say 4 years. I have learned so many things. I have, evolved a lot from who I used to be to a different person altogether. So I'm going to be telling you some of the things I have learned in this country. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Furo, here in the building. How are you all doing? So let's get into this video very fast and quickly. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, turn on your notification bell and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so one of the things I have learned in this country is politeness is very important. You will literally get whatever and anything you want just by being polite. Politeness, the way you speak, the tone of your voice, how you talk is very important. It's not like, in Nigeria where we just shout at everything and anything. Take it easy. Politeness is very important. The tone of your voice is very important. When you find yourself in any situation, no matter what that situation is, keep calm, take it easy. You will get what you want faster than when you start shouting all over the place. So politeness is very important. Work ethics. I have learned so many things working in this country. Number one thing I have learned is the fact that somebody is your skin tone, or somebody is your friend, or somebody is your good partner or ally does not mean that when they do something wrong you shouldn't report them, because you also could be getting into trouble if you don't report them. So as long as your mind tells you that what this person has done is wrong, report them. Even if they are your best friend, report them. And the fact that somebody reports you does not mean the person has any bad intention towards you, or the person wants to kill you, or whatever, the person wants to see you sink. The thing is that the person has to report you because they hold an obligation to that organization they are working for. So the obligation you hold to that organization is more important than whatever relationship you have with that person, and you could be held responsible, or you could throw yourself under the bus just by covering evil. So if you see evil, you have to speak up for it. It is very important here in this UK. You don't have to be doing man no man like we do in the UK. It's very important. The next one is content, like being content with your life. Like one of the things I've learned in this country is being content, like being content with myself, just being happy at every phase I find myself. I remember like when I first came to this country, I wanted like this big nice house and everything, but God was teaching me a lesson or passing me through a process. He gave me this small house. I remember I used to complain, oh, this house is shoebox, this house is too small, this, that. But now I can't even imagine myself living in that massive house anymore. And when I even moved into this my current house that was a lot bigger than my former house, I used to struggle with the extra space a little bit. It was not much, but I used to struggle with the extra space. So now I can't even imagine myself living in a big house. Like even if I have the money, I like this UK size of houses. I love my life. I'm content now with my life. I remember like I used to want maid, you need to want help, all this. Now I don't think I can even live with a maid anymore. I love the fact that I'm raising my kids by myself. I'm content with the small things of life, with the major things of life. Like I'm just content with the little things I have now. I'm not looking to get all these big things or struggling so much anymore. I am content in general with my life. Another thing I've learned in this country is no time for laziness. Like time will pass you without even asking. Like time will pass you. Everything is on the hour. If you don't do your stuff on the hour and you're just lazying about, things will pass you so fast. If you need to apply for a job, get up and do it right there and then. If you don't do it, it will pass you and life will move on. And the more proactive you are, be it your mental proactiveness, be it your body, or be it anything, or your mind proactive, depends on how much achievement or how quickly you achieve whatever you achieve in this country. If you want to lie down and be lazy and just ignore things, things will pass you so fast that you will not understand what hits you. So there's no time for laziness in this country. You have to always be on the go 24 hours. Another thing I've learned in this country is you have to use your brain. 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 If you don't use your brain, you will find yourself getting into troubles that you never planned for. Whether you're walking, use your brain. You're moving on the road, use your brain. Make sure your brain is always working. The 1 minute that your brain will just ignore you, you will see yourself in a big shit that you cannot imagine. Always use your brain. Always learn to read things, like read the fine line before you sign anything. Learn to now, like, you can't just bring document to me or anything for me to sign anymore. I must read the fine lines. I must, make sure I understand that thing before I sign it. If not, I won't sign things anymore like that again. And always ask questions. If you don't understand, ask questions. Like, no matter how stupid my questions is, I will ask that question until I totally understand what you're saying before I will go ahead and take action. I don't want to get myself into trouble. So I have learned to ask questions and not just assume things like I would do before. You are responsible for yourself. I've learned that in a hard way. I am responsible for myself. Ignorance is not an excuse. Like, now I do not depend on anybody. I know before now I used to think in my brain, although I don't express, I used to think in my brain that, this person is responsible for me. I will, accuse this person for whatever I'm going through at this time. I will pour my anger on this person. I will even get angry with my husband. Like, if I'm going through hard times this time, I will get angry with him. Like, it's his responsibility to make me not to go through that. But now I'm not like that anymore. I have learned to take responsibilities for my actions, and I've understand that ignorance is not an excuse. So you have to educate yourself as much as you can. Do whatever you can to take yourself out of the ignorance. And for any reason you find yourself, making mistakes or just making terrible mistakes, take responsibility for it. Don't blame anybody for it. Like, I see a lot of our people here, they are work, they get into issues and they'll start looking for who to blame. Oh, she doesn't like me, that's why she reported me, or she's just after me. One thing I've learned here, nobody's out to get you, nobody's out to do anything, but that doesn't mean that if you do shit, they are not going to report you or you are not going to pay for what you've done. So learn to take responsibility. If you find yourself in a mess, take responsibility, because you're the one that set yourself up for that mess. If you didn't set yourself up for that mess, then the person will not put you in or rub you into it. So be responsible and take responsibility for your action. In this country, you have to learn to speak up for yourself. I've learned to speak up for myself. Like, speaking up for yourself, but not in a rude way. You have to, that it also comes to using your brain. You have to use your brain to know how to speak up for yourself. You have to read the laws. Anything you're going through, read the laws around what you're going through. It is very, very important, and you have to learn how to articulate yourself and speak up for yourself. I have learned that, like, how to speak up for myself in a polite, in an educated, in a very civil manner. You have to learn to speak up for yourself in this country, because if you don't, financial responsibility is very, very important. I have learned how to manage my finances. In fact, I had to force myself to learn financial management and all the rest of them. I have learned a lot of personal finances. I've learned a lot of personal finance that I would not learn on a norm, but I had to learn, because if you're not careful in this country, you could run yourself into debt that you cannot, phantom, because there are so many monies everywhere for you to use, and you just think, oh, all these monies are for me to use, so I have to use it. So you start using them. Before you you know, you run into debt that you can't even afford. Anything you want, if you want to buy this best, for instance, and they'll just tell you, oh, it's 300 monthly, and you'll be like, oh, is that 300? Okay. Check me out. You can buy the most luxury, whatever you need, like the most expensive things you need. You have cash assets, you have credit assets. Today I was just looking at my email and I saw that Very have increased my allowance for me to shop on Very from 1,004 to 2,006. Who does that? So if I have 2,006 to shop in Very, that means I can buy anything in Very as long as it's within the range of 2,006, and I'll pay later. And if you're not careful, you're like, well, really, you think it's your money, you just take the card, you swap and swipe and just, you know, consume all these things until the money gets to you. In your bank, there is overdraft for you to use. Some people have 5,000, some people have 3,000 for you to use and do whatever. You can end up using that money to go and buy, you know, designer's bag, and you buy this and buy that, and before you know, you are in a financial mess. So it is very, very important to learn financial responsibility, which I have learned, you know, knowing how to say no and knowing how to say yes, making sure I buy the things I can afford and not going beyond my budget because I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. So financial responsibility I've learned in this country. Marriage is very, very important. Hey, this one hits me so bad. This one I learned it the hard way. So in Nigeria, we don't understand marriage, okay, until we get here. That's when we understand that marriage is very, very important, because you and your partner will be doing things together. So in Nigeria, I didn't really feel my marriage, because my husband, although he was giving me like all what I needed, and you know, but when doing things a lot together like that, if he wants to buy a house, he'll buy a house. All I'll just go and do, like when you do, go and see what he's buying and, you know, go around. But here you have to do a lot of things with your partner. You will do your income together to buy a house. You will do your income together to buy cars. You put a lot of things. So marriage is very important. In fact, if you have kids, being single here is the hardest thing you can ever do, because you can't, you know, really get enough money to take care of your whole marriage or your kids' responsibility. So it's very, very important anyhow you can to stick to your partner at this point. This country reaffirm the value of marriage in your life. Like, it helps you appreciate whoever is in your life very well, and make sure that as much as you can, you work together to keep that marriage together, because just as the wife is important to the husband, that's how the husband is important to the wife. More he got conquering in this country. He 3 children, a child single mother, he conquering in this country. So be careful. Marriage is very, very important in this country. Thinking carefully with all you do. Think carefully. The way you speak, be careful. You see that thing they say, whatever you say or use will be used against you in the court of law. Now here, you better keep quiet, because whatever you say will use against you in the court of law. Now here it happens. So before you speak about any situation at work, in your personal life, you have to think carefully before you speak. Okay, my next point is managing my emotions. I have learned to manage my emotions so well. I am now more calm. I don't, you know, fight as much as I used to before. Now if I'm angry, something is not going right, you will see me everybody must feel it. Then go feel it. Then go run it down. And I will never take responsibility, even when I'm the one that is, I know I'm doing, you know, the wrong thing. I will never take responsibility. I don't know how to manage my emotions as much as I am doing now. And that thing I've learned is prioritizing my mental health. Like, especially now that I work in mental health, prioritizing my mental health is very, very important to me. Oh, I don't do anything that will stress my mental health anymore. I just, you know, take it easy, slow with this life I've come to be in. The next one is not doing things because no one is watching you, because you'll be surprised everyone is watching you. So there are eyes everywhere. So do the right thing at all times. You know, for example, maybe you know the way you people do in Nigeria, you go and hit somebody's car, you drive your car off that place and go somewhere else thinking that, oh, nobody's going to see you, or you do something bad or anything, you think that nobody's going to see you. No, here it doesn't work like that. You have to do the right thing at all time, because if you don't do the right thing, So make sure you do the right thing at all times. So in general, I think 4 years of living in this country, I have become a better human. I'm in a better place. I am a better mommy, a better wife, a woman that knows how to control her emotions. I am more independent of myself. I know how to take responsibility for my actions. I am more articulated. I am more, there's so many things I have achieved in these 4 years of living in this country. So share with me some of the things you have learned living in this country. Until I see you in another video.